Hmm, nice. Dark roast. What it do, what it do, what it do. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Fellas, fellas, fellas. Players, players, players. Hustlers, hustlers, hustlers. What it do, what it do, what it do. It is I, your guy, AK every day, all day. Here to stay, here to play, here to make some sense today. What standards are you setting in your space? Today, in 2020, a lot of us are leaving the workforce and we're starting our own businesses. We're starting our own hair care shops, car washes, bars, clubs, uh, auto repair shops, and many other businesses. So, congratulations to you and all of you for what you do. It's a blessing to put some food on the table. So these days, it's a blessing to have a table. So big shout out to you and all you working folks out there for making things happen for yourself. And if you're employing others, man, big shout out to you for helping others, put food on their table as well. Standards. Standards, the standards that you set and the standards that you keep are very important. You know, my name is AK, and I've had multiple businesses, and some I closed down, and some just failed. Now, the ones that I closed down for a reason. The ones that failed, they also failed for reasons. Oftentimes, the ones that failed was because of the standards that I failed to keep. Now, the standards, what I mean by standards, I mean whatever is the norm or almost like the law, the way of doing things, what's allowed. Okay, so today that's what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to give you a few examples of what happened in my business, what I've seen in other businesses, and what I've talked to, well, some things that I've talked about to others while in their business. Well, in in my business, which I've owned car washes, property rentals, property management companies, um, barber shops. I've sold incense. I've had a lot of different businesses, a lot of different businesses. But one of the businesses that I want to focus on right now is when I had a bar. Ah, a lot of fun days in the bar. A lot of things happening in the bar. Things can happen quickly, and standards can be set, and standards can be broken, and standards can be tossed quickly in a bar. When you're in a situation where people are drinking, um, a lot can happen very quickly. So you must have standards in order to keep the doors open and the lights on. I never forget um, one time when I was DJing at the bar. Yes, I've done a little DJing, and the people around me they gave me a long learning curve. Yes, they bear it with me, and I appreciate that from each and every last one of you. Well, while I was DJing, I looked at the bar area, and my wife was pointing towards the door, and I wondered why she was pointing towards the door. And so I quickly found out that someone had tried to set a new standard, and she was having none of it. this individual set a certain amount of marijuana on the bar, for whatever reason, and she quickly pointed that individual to the door. Now, the standard in the bar was no smoking marijuana. These were the days when you were able to smoke cigarettes or cigars, Black and Milds, Cubans, whatever you had in the bar, but you couldn't smoke. You were not allowed to smoke marijuana. That was the standard. Well, this individual was not smoking at the time, but they were presenting it, or I don't know what they were planning on doing with it, but it was not our standard to allow someone to come and put something that was illegal on the bar. At that time, marijuana was illegal. In Georgia and some other states, it's still illegal. So that's an example of someone standing up for their standards. Now, if it wasn't her, and if it wasn't her standard, this individual may have gotten away with that. Now, what gave this individual the thought process that they were able to do what they were doing? Maybe someone else had allowed this individual to set a new standard. See, when you have different bartenders, different bartenders oftentimes set different standards. So from 3 to 12, you have one bartender, it's a certain standard. From 12 to close, you may have a different bartender. And if the owners of the business have not set a clear standards to all of the bartenders, all of the security, you can have mayhem. And it'll be very difficult to keep your doors open and those lights on, and the cash and the money flowing. So I found that very interesting. I thought about that, and I thought that I would share that with you. There's been individuals setting standards around us all of our lives, and so have we. When you are at home, and if some people don't allow people to wear shoes in their home. Some people say, okay, take your shoes off at the door. Now, but when they invite somebody to work on something, they relax the standards. Now, you can relax the standards, or you can stand up for the standards, or you can make adjustments, like purchase, bags for your covers for the shoes. That's just an example. But if you're running a business, know that you're going to have to set standards. All right? So today we talked about standards. And I used an example of my wife and a situation that happened in the bar that I frequent for a period of time and DJ'd in. But I hope you can use that example for yourself wherever you stand. Wherever you stand, have standards.